Where am I? Okay. This was too good for me not to read. I get it. It's about Corona. I said I wouldn't talk about it much more. Fuck you. I'm sorry. Okay. This article came out. It's in the Daily News and Newsweek. Newsweek is traditionally leftist. The Daily News is traditionally more right wing. They're British papers. So this ain't political in a left-right paradigm, and it shouldn't be. But like, for the love of, I have to fucking read this. Okay, this is the article. All right, you can Google Wuhan Lab, Newsweek, or Daily Mail, the other one. All right, this is the opening paragraph. Okay, this is the article. Less than 2 years before the COVID-19 pandemic began, scientists at the Wuhan Institute of Virology plan to genetically alter viruses to make them more infectious for humans and release them into bat caves. Why is this not on every... Well, we know why it's not on every news channel. Because then our government and the Chinese government are going to admit that we made fucking Corona. We did it. We killed millions of people. We destroyed the economy. And now we're making you get the fucking shot for the thing that we fucking made. The research proposal was part of a trove of documents released this week by a group of scientists and activists who are trying to determine the origins of the pandemic, which has killed 4.7 million people around the world, according to Johns Hopkins University. The Wuhan scientists were listed as partners in a funding proposal the environmental health nonprofit EcoHealth Alliance made. EcoHealth Alliance. Oh, wow. Doesn't that sound so nice for a group of people that are making viruses in bat caves in Wuhan? I'm a member of the EcoHealth Alliance. It sounds so much better than Umbrella Corporation, doesn't it? Well, you know what? Umbrella Corporation sounds nice on paper. So it is. It's Umbrella Corporation. The EcoHealth Alliance made to the U.S. government's Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, DARPA. If you ever played Metal Gear Solid, you know what DARPA is. They develop weapons, and basically this virus was designed because we were dicking around, or they were dicking around, with biogenetic chemical warfare. I think a lot of people forget this, that the U.S. and the Soviet Union have been, and China now, and all the big players, have been developing viruses as weapons. All right? First nation to really do it were the Japanese. The Japanese would drop bags of fleas infected with bubonic plague over Chinese cities. Like paper bags filled with fleas over Chinese cities infected with bubonic plague. Right? And the Chinese haven't forgotten this. Trust me, a lot of times, unfortunately, the people who... there's an old saying that the former slaves make the worst slave masters. Well, here you fucking go. Anyway, DARPA rejected the proposal. It's not clear what happened to the research project. I wonder what happened to it, which the documents described as having a good running start. How do you know? How do you measure a good running start? Well, hey, you remember that COVID thing that SARS bat virus? Well, I put a new one in there. Killed about 80 fucking bats, okay? The old one killed 8. So, dude, we're killing it. Nope. Pun intended, buddy. Pun intended. There's a growing suspicion of China's official version has been driven in large measure by the decentralized radical autonomous search team investigating COVID-19, or DRASTIC. Well, thank you for making that acronym. That was a lot. They released the documents. Yeah. Do you guys really think that China, an authoritarian communist, not full communist, but, an authoritarian one-party regime might be lying to us, even though they lie to their own people? So DRASTIC has been doing this research. It hasn't even been the U.S. government. For some reason, we aren't looking into the origins of this. None of the world's governments are, Richard Abright, Board of Governors, Professor of Chemistry and Chemical Biology at Rutgers University and Laboratory Director at the Wexman Institute of Microbiology, tweeted out the findings of the latest drastic document dump and said the world should be furious at the news. You would hope. The document showed researchers aspired to genetically alter coronaviruses and monitor their release and transmission in bat caves to determine the risks those viruses pose to humans. Oh, yeah, hey, you know what we should do? We should drop a nuke and put a few people there just so we know what it would do to people so we could better prevent against it. Hey, you know what I should do, honey? I should cheat on you. That way I can see how you respond to it. That way if I ever do cheat on you, we better know how to handle it. That's what this is every science fiction movie, and it's real life. It's very convenient that they've been developing this virus for a decade, and they've also been experimenting on with SARS-CoV viruses in bats for years. It's almost like the two were happening simultaneously. Guys, I have a friend who gives me shit for this, and he loves Resident Evil, and I just want to sit him down and go, Tom, when are you going to realize that Umbrella Corporation is real? They're just called Johnson & Johnson, Pfizer, Purdue, and Monsanto. What the... Like, you live in the... Just like Umbrella, they cover everything up. Like, what... This is Raccoon City, man. This is it. This is the fucking mansion. The Wuhan Lab is the mansion, okay? And people... Who was it? Chris Redfield and Jill Valentine came out, and they go, hey, guys, they did some shit. And everyone goes, shut up. Shut up, you bunch of conspiracy theorists. Can you believe these? Can you believe these two? Can you believe them? A whistleblower showed the EcoHealth Alliance collaborated with the Wuhan Institute of Virology to carry out advanced and dangerous human pathogenicity bat coronavirus research through a grant proposal EcoHealth Alliance filed with DARPA. So the EcoHealth Alliance went to DARPA and they said, give us $16 million and we're going to experiment on bats. And DARPA says that they were like, no. So the EcoHealth Alliance never said they didn't go through with it. What they're saying is they just didn't get money from DARPA. So maybe they got money from someone else. Or they just did it for fucking shits and giggles. Because, hey, man, why not take a virus from a bat, make it a super virus, and then shove it into a fucking bat cave? Because, why not, dude? Hey, I'd fuck, if I was looking for, to have a real experience, I'd go to the third world and fuck a hooker, which I haven't done. Relax. But if I wanted, a real fucking crazy thing, do that. Because then you're not going to kill anyone but you. You're not. I mean, you might get something gross, but you're not. You're not gonna get AIDS from fucking pussy. All right, that's okay. In its funding request, EcoHealth Alliance proposed injecting deadly chimeric bat coronaviruses collected by the Wuhan Institute of Virology into humanized and batified mice. So chimeric, so a chimera is a mythological beast. It has the head and body of a lion, its tail is a snake, and for some reason there's a goat head on its back, just an angry goat head. So it is a three-headed monster, and a chimera, when they're talking about chimera nowadays, they often use it to describe life forms that have been spliced. A chimera, so it's a chimera was three animals mushed together. When people talk about chimera now, like the theory of there was this theory that a lot of people are throwing out that they want to make human pig or human horse workers. There was a movie, Thank You for Answering. It was about this black guy who does a white voice at a call center that dealt with this. And there's a theory that corporations wanted to make them because they wouldn't be humans, and therefore human work laws wouldn't matter to them. Here's the thing. I don't know what to think. I don't think it's going to happen. I wouldn't put, like, when you look at the U.S. government, you realize that there's always someone who comes down to a table, or in the corporate world, who throws out a crazy idea, and a lot of times they go, no, we're not going to do that. Okay, but the idea was thrown out. Anyway, humanized and batified mice. Okay, so you know what? I take back what I just said. What the fuck is a humanized mouse? And what is a batified mouse? What's a batified mouse, man? What is it? Dude, please, don't, like, that's the last thing I need is mice with wings in my house. Just like dropping little shits everywhere. Like now my mice traps are worthless. I can't catch him. Like, he goes to get the cheese, but he doesn't put any pressure on because he's fluttering with little mice bat wings. They took a deadly virus from a bat, a COVID SARS virus, if you will, and go, hey, let's inject it into mice that we've also put bat and human genes into. Guys, it's Umbrella Corp. It's and there's still people who fight me over this shit. And regardless of what your stances are on vaxxes, on masks, or lockdowns, can't we all just come together and go and just kill everyone in the EcoHealth Alliance? And like the copy of EcoHealth Alliance's proposal shared by Drastic Research said the proposed project aimed to diffuse the potential for spillover of novel bat origin, high zoonotic risk, SARS-related coronaviruses in Asia. Guys, we're just doing this to examine what would happen if it did happen. This is... Okay, let's hypothetically speaking, you fuck someone. All right, and that person goes, and then you get herpes, and you go, hey, I haven't had sex with anyone in 5 months except for you, and now I have herpes. And they go, it wasn't me. And you go, but I've only fucked you. They go, but it wasn't me. And they go, you have a cold sore on your lip, and you sucked my dick. Now there's a herpes on my dick. And they go, it wasn't me. Where would you get that idea? Do you have any proof? And I go, well, you are the only one that I fucked, and you have a herpes on your mouth, and now there's a herpes on my penis, so I'm just going to go out on a limb. You know, there is a institute in Wuhan that is experimenting with bats to see if a coronavirus in bats could spill over into human beings. And it just so happens that a coronavirus, COVID virus, started in Wuhan from bats transmitting to humans, which they all predicted in that show Explained on Netflix. Which they literally said it was going to come from Wuhan, China. Anyway, and, it's not related. Yeah, no, look, dude, it just happened because it's not related to that thing, dude. This is what that feels like. I feel like I'm in a horror. If you're living in a small town and there's one mansion on a hill and it's old and decrepit and scary and there's a guy up there and he experiments with lightning and you never see him, but you see shadows. You know, there's some weird shit going up there. And occasionally some graves get dug up around town, but you don't have proof who's been digging up these graves. But, you might think it's that goofy guy up there in the house on the hill. And you have everyone down in the bottom in our little communities living life. And then one day, there's a Frankenstein monster, and he comes out, and he throws a little girl in a lake, and you're like, oh, I wonder where this giant human horse Frankenstein monster came from. Did it come from Eddie next door? Nah. Is it a conspiracy to think that maybe it comes from Old Man on the Hill? Just... oh... Required $14 million from DARPA, so 14, not 16, excuse me. This was dated March 2018, less than 2 years before SARS-CoV-2, the coronavirus that causes COVID-19, began spreading around the world. Wow. It's almost like coincidence, isn't it? Yeah, and DARPA assessed that it was aimed to... Well, DARPA said the project had a good running start. I've established that. It noted several weaknesses within the proposal, including DARPA's concern that vaccine approaches may lack sufficient... excuse me, how I pronounce this word. Concern that vaccine approaches may lack sufficient epitope coverage to effectively protect against the diverse and evolving quasi-species of the many coronaviruses found in the bat caves. So, DARPA didn't go through with this because they didn't think they had a good enough vaccine yet for the... Jesus, titty fucking Christ! And what... You know what I don't get? All right, I'm going to say this. I've come to this realization that a lot of us realize that society's a fucking sham in many ways, all right? But we're all given a certain bribe. And the reason your politicians and your celebrities tell you to shut the fuck up and you're being a nut and to go along with stuff is they've been given a really good bribe. Despite the fact that the system fails billions of people around the world and pedophilia is on the rise and constant states of war and famine and hardship and manufactured poverty and manufactured scarcity and homelessness, the people at the top, the system works for them. So they're going to tell everyone else that if the system doesn't work for you, it's because, well, you're dumb or lazy or stupid or a weirdo or a conspiracy theorist. And as long as there's a middle class, there's enough people getting bribed that they'll go along with it. But we don't really have a middle class anymore because the people at the top got so greedy they took all the money from them. And this ain't new because the French Revolution happened because, well, not simply because the king, it wasn't even the king. The country went bankrupt because the nobility wouldn't pay taxes. The church and the nobility, and this dated back well into early feudal times, were exempt from taxes. The poor paid all the taxes. And it's almost like nothing has changed. Anyway, if the system works for a noble, I promise you, if you asked a nobleman, does feudalism work? He's going to say yes.